Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty interesting things to go over. Something called Pokecology has been announced. We also have some Nintendo Switch 2 updates to go over and some updates regarding Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Legends ZA. A lot of things to break down today, so if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's take a look at Pokecology. It was recently announced, I think yesterday, on the 20th of April. We have CenturyLeaks here posting about it because they've posted a lot more information than other kind of accounts and stuff. But either way, CenturyLeaks here posting saying the Pokemon Company has announced Pokecology, a new official book that will explain Pokemon from the perspective of ecology and ethology with new illustrations. So the authors have a PhD in animal behavior and ecology and apply that knowledge to the Pokemon world. So this sounds very, very exciting, to be fair. I'm very much looking forward to this book. It is coming out in Japanese though, but I assume it's going to get translated and everything. So the encyclopedia will release in Japan on the 18th of June. It's a completely new kind of book that approaches the mysterious creatures known as Pokemon from a fresh academic perspective. And then also the full color illustrations for this encyclopedia have been made. I'm not sure how to pronounce their name, but they have been made by this person. She's a renowned researcher and illustrator with a PhD in agriculture. Here's a look at some of her illustrations for real biology books. So this sounds like, well, this looks like it's going to be really cool. Like these sort of designs in Pokemon, well, Pokemon in these sort of designs, should I say. So this is some of her actual illustrations, and she's going to be illustrating this book as well. So it's going to be really interesting. Maybe it explains why they're not called like regional phase or convergent evolutions for Pokemon like Wiglet and Wugtrio and Toedscool and Toedscruel. I'm assuming it will go into like a little bit more detail about that. But it's just going on to the more kind of, I don't know, like more animalistic side of Pokemon. But I think it's going to be a really cool read. Again, it's coming out on the 18th of June, I believe, which is not sure what day that is. That is a Wednesday. Again, it's coming out in Japan though, so hopefully it gets translated, and when it does, we'll be able to go over it and stuff and see if there's any more kind of important information about Pokemon that obviously wasn't known before this book. But very excited about it. But yeah, that is something that was announced very recently for Pokemon. Moving on, let's talk about Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Evolutions. So it's recently been leaked that apparently we might be getting more than 27 Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Legends ZA, or should I say 26, because I guess Zeraora has been scrapped, but it hasn't been scrapped because of something else that's happened. Again, loads of leaks have been kind of like popping out, but Zeraora isn't going to be in Pokemon Legends ZA, but apparently it's going to be in the anime. We'll talk about that in a future video with more information. But in regards to Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Legends ZA, apparently there's going to be a few more than we were expecting. Now, again, we were originally going to get DLC for this game. We don't know if we're still going to get that, but this game was supposed to come out in 2024. We were supposed to get DLC in June 2025, so in a couple of months, we were originally supposed to get DLC, and then, of course, Gen 10 announced in February 2026. Everything has been completely pushed back, so instead of the game coming out, you know, whenever it was supposed to in 2024, that's now coming out late 2025, and then whether we get DLC or not, who knows. But if there was going to be DLC, you'd definitely expect there to be new Mega Evolutions in it. So whether it's going to be a free update or they carry on with the DLC or who knows, it has been reported by various leakers that, again, there are going to be a couple more. So we have Soul Silverheart kind of talking about this, saying if there's actually at least 4 more unknown Mega Evolutions, because they haven't been leaked yet either, that we just know that apparently there's going to be more, in Pokemon Legends ZA, which 4 to 5 would you want the most? So these are obviously Soul Silverheart, Escavalier, Golisopod, Archaludon, and also Speedops as well. 5th pick, possibly Gigalith. And then I know not all the ones above will get picked, but this is just a wish list. So here's some honorable mentions I need to see get Mega Evolutions too. So Nidoking, Dugong, Spinder, Galvantula, and Cleavor. These would be better with new evolutions, but I'd just as happily see Ledian and the Dunsparce. And then Shedinja, Mothim, and Frostmoth all need something too, but I just don't know what. Something stronger but more permanent than a Mega Evolution, but not a pure evolution that changes too much how they look and instead builds of their current design/looks. Also, I've got to say, if this is true, then Zeraora is clearly the already existing 27th or 6th pick. Again, we'll talk about that in a future video, because apparently Mega Zeraora is going to be in the anime, but it's not going to be in the game. Again, Zeraora could get included in, it could get introduced in a number of different ways. It could just be in the base game and the leakers are wrong. It could get introduced in the DLC, and it could also just get introduced in Pokemon Champions. You know, those are 3 ways that Mega Zeraora could get introduced into the Pokemon franchise. But what we know, though, is that it is a thing. It hasn't been actually scrapped like Flygon was or Jinx and stuff. It is going to be in some form of Pokemon media, whether that is in the anime or the games, who knows. And then as well as that, we also have talk of legendary Pokemon getting Mega Evolutions as well, in regards to these extra Mega Evolutions that are going to be happening in Pokemon Legends EA. So we've got Soul Silver also saying, if there's actually at least 4 more unknown Mega Evolutions in Pokemon Legends EA, it could more likely be that they'd be legendary Pokemon or mythical Pokemon. Maybe they or their stones could be added as events / side quests / gifts. So which 4 to 5 legendaries do you think will get one? So these are Soul Silver Arts being Xerneas and Yveltal, Magearna, Genesect, and Mew. So these are obviously filling certain criteria of rumors that we've heard, 1 Generation 5 and 1 Generation 7. So that's apparently a rumor of these 4 or 5 Pokemon or something like these extra Mega Evolutions. Didn't actually know that. I'm not sure if that was in the last post. It actually might have been. Yeah, it was Gen 5, Gen 7, the leaker suggested. So apparently 2 of these Mega Evolutions are going to be from Gen 5 and Gen 7 out of these extra ones that are apparently going to be in the game. So Magearna was probably made for Generation 6 and then pushed to Generation 7. Genesect would be another bug type in a list of very few bug types. And then Mew is Generation 1 and would counterpart Mega Mewtwo. And this is Xerneas and Yveltal's region. They need new forms. So, I don't really know. Yeah, in terms of legendaries, for if we were going to be talking about Gen 5 and Gen 7, yeah, I think Magearna and Genesect would be solid picks. With Xerneas and Yveltal, I mean, you'd like to think they'd get Mega Evolutions, because in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Kyogre and Groudon got Origin forms. And as well as that, in the Legends Arceus game, we didn't get Mega Evolutions for Dialga and Palkia, but they got some form of new form. So for Yveltal and Xerneas not to get that would be a little bit weird, especially because Zygarde's getting one as well. And Zygarde's already got 100% form. So if Zygarde's getting 100% form and a Mega Evolution, and then Xerneas and Yveltal get nothing, it's a little bit, I don't know, I feel like they'd be a little bit hard done by. But I don't know, what are your thoughts on this? What Mega Evolutions would you like to see in Pokemon Legends EA, as well as the ones that have obviously been leaked? Again, there's about 4 or 5 new ones, and 2 of them are going to be from Generation 5 and 7, apparently, according to the leaker. They might be legendaries, they might not be legendaries, we don't know. Probably going to get leaked, but what are your picks if you could choose? Moving on, we have some new Nintendo Switch 2 updates to go over. This was a post by Go Nintendo tweet saying, various third parties talk Nintendo Switch 2 reaction, announce support, and more. So this was posted on the 15th of April, so about a week ago, saying Switch 2, good to be true. So the Nintendo Switch has brought in a wealth of third-party support over the years. Without a doubt, the Nintendo Switch has seen greater third-party support than any other Nintendo platform in recent memory, and perhaps ever. Nintendo obviously wants to keep that support going strong with the Nintendo Switch 2, and now we know how even more third-party creators are feeling about the platform. So in a feature with Nintendo Life, multiple third-party developers shared their feelings on the Nintendo Switch 2. Interest in supporting the platform, the struggle to get dev kits, and more. Because remember, they didn't even give dev kits to like all the third-party developers. Only a few of them got some. Like some are still waiting on them. The feature includes comments from the following devs. So Adam Tierney, James I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, Montagna, Matt Bozon from Way Forward, Andy Pearson from P-Cube, Gavin Price from Playtonic, Harris Foster from Big Fan Games, Manfred Linzer from Shinen, Sophie Smart from No More Robots, Tom Hewlett from Way Forward, and then another dev wished to remain anonymous, the fear of being on a flag list. Wondering which of these third parties will be supporting the Nintendo Switch 2? Here's what they had to say. So P-Cube will absolutely be supporting the Switch 2. No More Robots says a Nintendo Switch 2 release would be super important to anyone right now. Playtonic has plans, but when and how they manifest is too early to share. Shinen say Switch 2 will be support important to them, and they have fast fusion for the Switch 2 launch and 2 more projects planned for it. And then Way Forward said they love working with Nintendo to develop new and original games for all of its systems, and they're very excited to develop games for the Nintendo Switch 2. as far as what studios have dev kits, how they feel about the Switch 2, and other lingering questions they have, make sure to check out the full feature. So a lot of third-party developers clearly very much wanting to work on the Switch 2. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's probably going to be one of the best-selling consoles of all time, just like the Nintendo Switch 1 was. So yeah, of course you're going to want your games on that platform. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not really familiar with a lot of the games these companies make, but potentially you are. But yeah, these are some of the extra third-party developers that could be creating Nintendo Switch 2 games for the new system. Finishing things off as well, we have a new update regarding the hardware of the Nintendo Switch 2, and more importantly, the dock. So we've got Switch 2 stock here tweeting out saying, ICYMI, the Switch 2 dock bottom shows air vents. So we're going to have air vents on the bottom of the Nintendo Switch 2, which is interesting because the way that the Switch 2 is going to be stood, like the air vent would just be on solid ground. So unless I'm thinking of it in a different way, I don't know how that air vent's going to work. But anyway, they say photos show the bottom of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Here you can see it in detail. So this is the bottom of the dock, and yeah, it's going to have air vents, but it's going to be on solid ground. So again, I don't know how that's going to personally work, but it says it looks like Nintendo today has released new images of the Nintendo Switch successor. These come after Nintendo's decision to discontinue reservations for the successor in the United States. After learning everything shared in its Nintendo Direct, we now have more details about the Nintendo Switch 2. It's very interesting information about the successor. This was also translated as well, so if the words are a little bit off, then that's why. We've already updated the website on all the games announced for the Nintendo Switch 2 console, and you know there's been some controversy over the price increases. An official camera for the game chat feature had already been announced, and now we've gotten our first look at the bottom of the console's dock. So these are the first 3D models of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. Unlike previous docks, this new design includes 4 small supports that raise the base off the ground. Okay, so that's obviously how it works. So I was going to say, if it was just flat on the ground, then it'd make no sense, but it's actually going to have 4 different small kind of legs, as you would, for support to lift it off the ground, so obviously the air vent can then flow. Because like I say, if it was just stuck on the ground like that, the air vent would make absolutely zero sense. But the fact that it can go under now, yeah, so that's absolutely fine. So they say, off the ground, numerous ventilation holes designed to improve heat dissipation and also keep the console cool at all times. You can check it out below. So this is another angle of it here, and then of course there's another angle of it here as well. So yeah, I mean, very, very happy about this, because you never want your console to be heating up, because you just feel like it shouldn't be doing that. Like with my PlayStation 4, before I got a PlayStation 5, it generally sounded like a jet engine was about to, start, and you don't want that. You know that it's not supposed to be making those kind of noises. So even more ventilation for the Switch 2 is obviously happy days, because it's going to obviously help with performance and stuff, and overheating and everything like that. So those are the 2 angles that we got of the Nintendo Switch 2. And then what do you think of this information about the Nintendo Switch 2 successor and its release? Share it in the comments below. So a very good upgrade, or update should I say, regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. Remember, pre-orders go live on Thursday the 24th, is it, I believe, for America and Canada. Yeah, 24th, this Thursday. A lot of places are doing it at midnight as well. So again, it's going to be a big rush, but with the information that we know about how many consoles they've already shipped to America, it should be okay. It shouldn't be getting like a massive scalp situation. Everywhere else has been absolutely fine. Like in the UK, I haven't really seen anybody struggling to pre-order one. There were people scalping it, but then loads more stock just kind of came out of nowhere, so everyone just kind of like I've seen like multiple places that I could easily have pre-ordered it from if I really wanted to, but like I say, I secured mine ages ago. But like I say, it's not been an issue here. Hopefully that's the same as America, because we know they've already kind of stocked up a lot in there, and it should be the same for Canada as well. So yeah, hopefully everything's all good. But either way, those are the updated kind of images of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. And then yeah, let me know your thoughts on if there's any games that you would be looking forward to made by any of these devs. Like, they could easily be making enhanced versions for the Switch 2, they could be making new games for the Switch 2, but let me know your thoughts on that. And then also, let me know your thoughts on everything else that we've covered as well. What 4 to 5 new Mega Evolutions would you like to see in Pokemon Legends EA? Again, 2 of them from Gen 5, Gen 7, according to the leaker. For me, I don't even know. Off the top of my head, Generation 5, I would love Mega Haxorus, and then from Generation 7, I don't even know. Probably a legendary getting it from Gen 7, I'd say. But there's not a lot that like kind of jump out at me straight off the bat. But either way, let me know your thoughts on that. And then also Pokecology as well. Are you interested about this, or is it something that you're just not even going to pay any attention to? But anyway, that's everything from me. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment, like, say what your thoughts on anything we covered. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.